Before watching the video, don't forget to subscribe the channel and enable bell notification to never miss an update from us.
Hello everyone, welcome to Entri app. This is Leena and in today's class we are going to talk about pronoun. This is the continuation of our class of pronoun. The last class I have taught you some important topics and concepts of pronoun, and again we will understand some more concepts of pronoun and also its application. Okay, so you have to understand that learning concept, understanding concepts is a different thing, but to apply these concepts to get correct answers is a different thing. Okay, so we will understand some concepts, some rules, and we will also apply these rules for the for the real questions. Okay, so we have these questions which I have given you for your homework. So we will discuss these questions first and then we will move further. The first question we have is, let Pankaj and she complete this job as they like to do it. I have told you, whenever you have words like let, between, except, like, and any preposition, then you have to use pronoun of objective case after that. So we have Pankaj and then she. So we cannot do anything with Pankaj because this is a noun. Okay, cannot make changes. But what about she? She is the pronoun of subjective case, right? And we cannot use subjective case after let and convert it into what? Her. Okay, this is the objective case for she. So now this is the correct sentence. Let Pankaj and she complete this job as they like to do it. Okay. In the next sentence we have, all the doubts are cleared between you and I. Similarly, we have between before you and I. So whenever we have between, like, except, and any preposition, we have to have a pronoun of objective. So we cannot do anything with you because for subjective case we have a you form, and for objective case also we use you, okay, as second person. But what about she? She is the subjective case and convert it into objective case by using me. Now this is the correct sentence. All the doubts are cleared between you and me. Okay. Third sentence we have, you and I are expected to do your duty in the interest of the students. Is there anything wrong? This sentence is a normal sentence. Okay. And what would be the sequence? 2 3 1. When there is nothing is happening, nothing is wrong, then we have to have use this sequence when we have more than two pronouns, when we have two or more than two pronouns as subjects in our statement, in our sentence. Okay, so we have you, that is second person, and then we have I, that is first person. That means the sequence is fine. Okay, sequence is fine, 2 and 1. So it means this is the correct sentence, or is there anything wrong? Okay, you and I are expected to do your duty. If we use this possessive adjective, what is the parts of speech for this your possessive adjective? If we use your duty, it means it is only representing you. Okay, your is representing you only, but here we can see I is also used as subject. So you and I become plural subject. Okay, this is your plural subject. So whenever we have plural subjects, we have to use plural verb, right? When you are using present perfect tense, then you have to use have, not has. Okay, if you are using present continuous tense, then you have to use are, not is. Similarly, if you are using past continuous tense, then you have to use were, not was. Similarly, if you are using possessive adjective case, then it should be for all these subjects, and that is why you have to use our duty here, not your duty. Is it clear to you? Next sentence we have, you and I will be punished for this mistake. You and I means second and third person. But whenever there is something wrong, when someone is feeling guilty, when someone is trying to confess something, then you have to use the sequence 1 2 3, first, second, and then third person. And this is the case of confession. So should we should have the sequence of 1 2 3. That is why we have to use I and you. It means 1 and 2, because we do not have third person. So just eliminate this. You and I becomes I and you will be punished for this mistake. Okay. Now fifth sentence, they, you, and we. Okay. So whenever we have two or more than two pronouns in a sentence as subjects, okay, so we have to use sequence 1 2 3, and the sequence here is 3 2 1. This is the wrong sequence. Change it into we, you, they are leaving for Mumbai tomorrow. Now this sentence is correct. Okay. Now moving further, we have our first concept of the day, and that is reflexive and emphatic pronouns. So we are going to talk and discuss about this reflexive and emphatic pronoun. So this is your subjective case: I, myself, ourselves for we, yourself or yourselves for you, himself for he, herself for she, itself for it, and themselves for they. You cannot say themselves, okay, because self means one and they is plural. You say, if you uh, think that you can use themselves, then it is incorrect. You cannot use themselves, you can only have themselves. Okay, yourself and yourselves both are correct when there is a singular person, singular thing or something, that you can use yourself. But when they are more than one, then you have to use yourselves. Similarly, like they, you cannot use ourself, because self is used for one, so you have to use only ourself. Okay, moving further. Now, what are the reflexive pronoun and emphatic pronouns? But for that, understand that you cannot use these forms or these pronouns like myself, yourself at the place of subject. Okay, you cannot use these pronouns as subjects. Okay, at the subject you cannot use these pronouns. Is it clear to you? Some people say myself Priya Sharma. This is absolutely incorrect sentence. You cannot introduce yourself by saying myself Priya Sharma. Simply say I am Priya Sharma, or my name is Priya Sharma. Or when you are interacting with someone over the call or over a video call, you can say this is Priya Sharma. Okay, myself Priya Sharma is absolutely incorrect sentence. Okay, myself, yourself, themselves, all these pronouns cannot be used at the place of subject. Understood? Herself swam in the river. Similarly, you cannot use herself. You have to have a pronoun of subjective case. She swam in the river. Similarly, I am Priya. Okay. Tom and myself. Tom and myself went there. Whenever you have two things, two people before verb, they are subjects. Okay, and as I told you that you cannot use subject, myself as subject, so cannot use myself as a subject at the place of subject, so convert it into Tom and I went there. Is it clear? Now, reflexive pronoun and emphatic pronoun. What are these pronouns, and is there any difference between reflexive pronoun and emphatic pronoun? Yes, there is a difference between these two pronouns. So what happens? Reflexive pronouns, in reflexive pronouns, subject and object refer to what? The same person. Okay, they refer to the same person. But what about emphatic pronoun? It puts, that means an emphatic pronoun puts emphasis on the noun pronoun. That means it emphasizes subject. Okay, it emphasizes subject. If I write, I hurt myself, right? I hurt myself. Is this the correct sentence? Yes, this is the correct sentence. What if I say I myself, I myself cooked the food? Now what happens? I hurt myself. We know the basic structure to create a sentence, that is subject, then we have a verb and then object. Subject plus verb plus object. So we have this I as subject, right? We have this hurt verb, and what is this? Myself. This is your object. So what happens? I is the doer, all right, subject is the doer in this sentence. I is the doer and I is doing something. I heard, this is the verb, and the action is performing on myself, so this is the object. It means, what do you understand here? It means subject is the object, the person who is performing something, the person who is the performer is also the person who is the receiver, receiver of the impact of the action. Okay, it means I is the receiver. I hurt myself. I do not hurt, I did not hurt anyone else, but I hurt myself. Understood? But in emphatic pronoun, you can simply delete this myself. If you write I cooked the food, is this the incorrect sentence? No, this is correct sentence. I cooked my food. Then what is the use of this myself? It simply emphasizes, it simply emphasizes this subject. So this is your subject, this is your verb, and this is what? This is object. All right, so if you say this is the pronoun, that is fine. This is the emphatic pronoun, that is fine. But what is the function of this myself? It is performing an action of an adjective. Okay, this is performing the action of an adjective. All right, now we have some more examples to understand the difference between these two pronouns. Okay, first sentence we have is this: he cut himself. He is the subject, cut is the verb, himself is the object. So whenever we have himself, himself as object, this is the reflexive pronoun. Okay, this is your reflexive pronoun. And if we say he himself cut the cake, he is the subject, cut is the verb, the cake is the object. This is emphatic pronoun. All right, this is emphatic pronoun because himself is only pressurizes or only emphasizes he, it is not doing anything else. So what is the parts of speech of himself here? What is the parts of speech himself here? This is pronoun. Okay, but what is the function of himself in this second statement? This is functioning as an adjective. Okay, all right, so she locked the room. What if I say she herself locked the room? She herself locked the room. Whenever there is a subject and then a verb and then object, and herself is only functioning to emphasize the pronoun or the subject, it is emphatic pronoun. But what about second statement? She locked herself. She is the subject, locked is the verb, herself is the object. Now this is reflexive pronoun, right? This is your reflexive pronoun. So do you understand the difference between reflexive pronoun and emphatic pronoun. Here subject is the object. Okay, subject is the object. It means subject is I, it means object is your myself. If subject is he, then your object would be himself. If your subject is they, then your object would be themselves. Okay, but in this case, when you have emphatic pronoun, then it only emphasizes, it only performing an action to emphasize the subject, noun or pronoun. Okay. Okay, next sentence we have is, you must blame yourself for the loss. So you is the subject, must blame for yourself. Okay, yourself is the object. It means this is your reflexive pronoun. You should not blame me for this blunder. Okay, you should not blame me for this blunder. So this is your simple sentence. Okay, the reflexive pronoun or emphatic pronoun are not used here. All right, so next sentence we have, very important sentence. Okay? I saw myself, subject, verb and object. I saw myself in the mirror. That means subject is the receiver also. Okay, subject is the object also. But what if I say I saw you there, I myself saw you there? That means this is your emphatic pronoun. So this is the difference between your reflexive and emphatic pronoun. Now we have some verbs like avail, acquit, reconcile, amuse, resign, avenge, adapt, adjust, pride, absent and enjoy. So whenever you have these verbs, you